Happy Monday. I am here in South Carolina. I still live in South Carolina as of now, for now. And we got a bunch of snow where I live. So it's really exciting. It's really fun. It is absolutely beautiful outside. My dog didn't like it at first because it was that hard, like icy snow. It's like that hard pellet icy snow that, like, when it's blowing in your face, which happened to me, it kind of hurts a little bit. It kind of stings. It wasn't like the big fluffy flakes, but those don't tend to like compact and stay on the ground or accumulate like the more icy snow does. So it's still out there. Maybe I'll show y'all at the end of the video. But I kind of got to get a move on. I'm giving myself an hour until 1:45 to do my hair and makeup. I'm trying to decide if I even want to unbraid my hair. I have my hair in braids for a braid out under here. I'm not sure. I think I'm just going to leave it braided for today and just put it in a ponytail, maybe put on a headband. I've been on a headband kick, but I want to do a chatty get ready with me. You can see my braids from braid out. It's going to be cute when I do actually take it down. But I want to do a chatty get ready with me to talk about things I've been learning so far as an engaged woman, and just the things that I'm doing to kind of like prepare for being married. Excuse me, I have a cough. I was sick last week with just a common cold situation. Nothing intense or too serious, but I still am coughing. Okay, I'm just gonna put my hair in a ponytail with this satin scrunchie for now. And I think I'm gonna put on a headband to make it cuter. That's been my go-to lately, is like a low bun, low ponytail, and I've been loving playing with headbands to like accessorize and spice it up. We're gonna leave my little ponytail like that. Let's go ahead and do the hair, the edges first before I get into makeup. But yeah, things I've been learning, and things that like I suggest if you're on this journey, which a lot of my YouTube peeps that I watch we all got engaged in the past month, which I think is kind of cool and kind of neat and awesome. So there's a lot of people that are currently in this life stage that I'm in as well at the same time. Like, we're all kind of going through it at the same time. So what I want to talk about first, let's talk about a conversation I recently had with one of the women in my church. She was previously married and she just wanted to call and give me some great advice. And that's kind of one thing I've learned is like, allow older women to pour into you, or just like more experienced women that have like already been married before or have been married for longer than you have, which for me is anybody, to like pour into you and give you advice. Like, just hear people out, listen to what they have to say, like be humble, have an open heart, because you never know what you could take away from the conversation. For those of you that are wondering what I'm doing, I'm slicking my edges down with some edge booster. I really like the lemon one. Is this lemon? Yeah, lemon candy scent. This is one of my favorite edge boosters. And I'm using my edge toothbrush. This only goes on my hair. It's never been on my teeth before or in my mouth. To just kind of just slick them down, do a little swoopty swoopy whoopty whoopy, just a little bit. But yeah, listen to the older women. Just listen, have an open heart. You never know what you might learn. And in talking to this sister, she gave me just like a new perspective on a verse that we read a lot. We read it all the time, especially it's one of the marriage verses, Ephesians chapter 5 and then verse 21, which is submit yourselves to one another out of reverence for God. But that last part is out of reverence for God. So because I respect God, reverence, respect, those are synonyms. Because I respect God, I'm going to submit to my husband and he's going to submit to me. We submit to each other. Hello. We submit to each other. That's another thing. I think people usually focus on like the verses about how the wife is supposed to be submissive, But God calls us all to submit to one another. And if you don't know, I'm a Christian, so I'm talking really from the faith-based perspective when it comes to marriage. Um, but it's not because of course, he is an amazing person. I wouldn't marry somebody who's not an amazing, phenomenal, spectacular man. But it's not because of who he is as a person. It's because of my respect for God. Awesome. Have fun at work. Be safe. Stay warm if it's cold where you live. Um, but yeah, because of my respect for God, that is my fuel and my motivation for honoring and respecting and submitting to my future husband. And I think that's just huge because there are going to be times, which we haven't really had yet, where I personally might not feel like he is respectable or somebody that I might want to submit to, but it's not about what I want. It's about my reverence and respect for God, you know? And um, I never want to lose sight of that as I become a wife. And I never want to take the fact that I have a husband for granted because this is something that I've prayed for, that my parents have prayed for. Yo, when I tell you, we've had people praying for this for years, and everybody's just so overjoyed and so happy for me that this is finally happening. It's crazy. All right, I don't know what I'm going to wear today, but I'm feeling the garnet headband. And if you're wondering, I have a whole bunch of like headbands on my chair right here that I just pulled one from. So I think I'm going to go with the garnet one. But yeah, I just thought that was a super important part is like submit yourselves to one another. So both of us out of reverence for God. So it's almost like in loving one another well and serving one another and submitting one to one another, we are showing respect and honor to God. Because it is truly a gift. It's a gift to have relationships. It's a gift to have friendships. It's a gift to have a spouse. And I just never want to take him for granted. I don't want him to take me for granted. And I don't want to take that blessing from God for granted. And so out of reverence for him is my main reason and fuel and motivation for my submission to my future husband. And I just thought that point was really great. And she elaborated some more, but that's the gist of it. So I've also talked to another sister in the church, married sister, that just gave me some good advice too. And, you know, it's just been so refreshing because that's something that I prayed for. As soon as I became engaged, was like, God, bring women into my life that have, I need to start doing my makeup, y'all. Now that I'm done with the hair. So this is the hair, keeping it simple. I've been enjoying just like the ponytail with the headband. I'm going to unbraid it probably tomorrow, maybe Wednesday. Whenever I go back to work, I'll wear my hair out. But it's been braided for a few days, couple days now, which is kind of nice because it's really easy and it's like a protective style in itself because it's just been tucked away and I've been wearing my bonnet because I ain't going outside because it snowed. But yeah, I've been praying to God to give me some older, more mature women to specifically talk to me about being a wife and getting married and what that might look like. So that's the first thing I want to share. Secondly, let's talk about things I've discovered about myself. Trying to think, do I want primer? Am I going outside? I'm just doing my makeup for fun. I ain't going nowhere. Do I want to prime? Yeah, let's prime with the NYX, the Marshmallow Primer. I have like a little mini one. Things I've discovered about myself since becoming engaged. And it's so funny because I've been listening more to, oops, it needs to be mixed up a little bit. Kind of separated. Listening more to other women who are engaged or like newly married. And like a big common thing is like, you know, a lot of us that are getting married older, I'm 29 and I've lived alone since I was like 22. And when I say alone, I mean no roommates other than a dog, you know? It's like, so I'm used to doing things, being independent, doing things on my own. I have my own method of doing things and how I run my household of myself and things like that. And now that I'm becoming, it's not just a me, it's turning into a we, I'm starting to realize like how selfish I am with just like how I spend my money, even thinking about joining, you know, with someone else. I'm starting to see how selfish I am in my thinking of like, well, this is the way I've always done it, so that means it must be the best way, right? Right? That is the way that it's supposed to be done if that's the way that I do it, right? No, that's obviously not the truth. But, you know, those things are kind of being revealed in me and in my heart and in my character. But I'm thankful that I've started to see it now this early because we still have a little less than 5 months until we do get married. Today is actually our 5 month anniversary of dating. Today is the 5th month that we've officially been dating in an exclusive relationship with each other. And our wedding is June 11th. So less than 5 months away. So this is kind of like the halfway point between like dating and officially being married. So I'm realizing some things I feel like for me early on that I can adjust and be aware of and like make changes to, you know? So yeah, that's one thing. So in that, I decided that you have to be open-minded. Like part of blending your life with somebody else is you have to be open-minded to the fact that they're going to do certain things differently, which is one thing I would suggest is like talking to your future partner about how they do certain things. What foundation do I want to wear? I did not think about this before I sat down. Excuse me. What foundation do I want to wear? I have on shorts. Let's do... I hope this isn't too dark. No, let's not do that one. Let's do... Man, this is such a hard choice. I should have thought about this before I said it. Let's just do Cover FX Power Play. Shaking it up. So yeah, blending your life with somebody, you're going to do things differently. That's what I was talking about. So with that being said, go ahead and talk to your partner about some of your daily life routines. So for instance, with my fiance and I, we both, when we do laundry, and I'm talking about the littlest things, because if you address it early, then it won't be a big thing later. You know, that's a huge thing. Being proactive, not reactive. So for instance, doing laundry, neither of us separate our lights from darks or towels and jeans and hoodies. We don't do that. Now we will do like a whites load because, you know, it is white, but everything else we don't separate. Bomb. So that won't be an issue. We know when we live together, which we don't live together. We won't live together until we are married. But like, just learn this stuff now. So like, cool, awesome, great, good to know. Another thing that we both like agree on is turning lights off when you leave a room. We don't leave lights on. If we're not in the room, or if you're not coming back like, you know, relatively soon, go ahead and turn the light off. And if you're thinking this is like silly, basic stuff, you'd be surprised how some people choose to live their life. You'd be surprised how some people choose to live their life, and the things that could annoy you or make you upset, you just don't assume anything, okay? Talk about it all. Don't assume, okay? So that's one thing that we both agree on. Is like when you leave a room, turn off the light, unless you're like coming back immediately, you know? Just go ahead, turn the light off. Man, there were so many things I had. Oh, so things that annoy him. His pet peeves. You can talk about this stuff while you're dating, honestly. His like living situation pet peeves. He currently lives with 3 roommates, whereas I haven't had a roommate, like I said, since I was like 22. So it's been years. I have a dog. That's my roommate. This foundation is so beautiful. Y'all see that? Did you see how that blended out? Even the color match? Baby, that's cute. No foundation? Foundation. No foundation. Foundation. So let's talk about some of his pet peeves, which is an adjustment for me. But honestly, I thought about it and his way is better. So we had a conversation, you know? Let's talk about when it comes to the laundry being done. So when the laundry is finished, a lot of times for me, I would just throw it on the floor, okay? And I had a huge giant pile of clean clothes in my room. I would just toss on the floor. You know, I would call it a working pile of clothes that I would wear the most, that are my favorites. And I just would put the clean clothes in a pile on the floor. I didn't keep dirty clothes in the pile, only clean clothes. But the point is, I had a massive pile in my bedroom. That's a no-no for him. So what have I done? My mom came over and we got rid of the piles of clothes and put them away before he actually came in December, because he was here for over the Christmas holiday. We cleaned up that pile of clothes. Was I okay with living with the pile of clothes? Yes. Would I be okay now with the pile? Yes. But I'm not gonna be just me, you know. My me is turning into a we, and he's not okay with it. So I decided, let me just get in the habit now, which is kind of like the third thing. So after you talk to your partner about like things that irritate them, their pet peeves, like how they like their home to be, how they like to do certain things, before you move in with each other, start making those things a habit now. So for me, a few of the things that I've started to make a habit are, as soon as the laundry's done, I immediately fold it and put it away. No matter how tired I am, no matter what, as soon as that laundry is done and I go to take it out of the dryer, I immediately fold it and put it away. Is that my preference? No. But I know that for my partner, it is. And that's just one less thing that, that's one way that I can serve him and honor him and respect him, is by making sure that there's no pile of clothes on the floor. And when the clothes are clean, they get put in their proper place. And honestly, it just makes things easier for the both of us because we know where it is. The clean clothes are always going to be put away, and the dirty clothes will be the ones that are in the laundry room, in the hamper, It makes things easier. And we can see all that we have instead of having a pile that you have to like dig through and like look under. We know where everything will be. So it honestly, in the end, is better for me too. Another thing that I have been adjusting is he gets really irritated by, this is so pretty, really irritated by when there's dirty dishes in the sink. So one thing that he prefers is, as soon as you're done eating and like, the food, you put all the food away, go ahead and just wash the dishes right then. Like, don't let them sit in the sink, you know? Which for me, that wasn't really an issue for me too. They might be in there a day, maybe 2 days max, but I always pre-rinse them before as I'm putting them in the sink, I always pre-rinse them and then load the dishwasher. That's what I do. But sometimes it will take me a day, sometimes up to 2 days to load the dishwasher sometimes. Just depends on what's going on. Am I in a rush? Am I going somewhere? Am I tired? Usually it's the tired part that will really get me. But for him, that's a no-go. He wants it to be, I should say he prefers that it be put away. Like they wash and put away immediately, which is cool. So what have I started to do? Before we move in or get married now, whenever I cook stuff, this is the Anastasia concealer in the shade 21. The Anastasia Beverly Hills Magic Touch Concealer. What have I started to do? Now whenever I cook and the dishes, I just put them away before I go to bed. Like I wash them and put them away before I go to sleep so they don't stay in the sink. This is very, very like warm, this concealer. Put just a little bit on my forehead. A little bit on my lip. A little bit on my chin. I look so crazy. So yeah, I'm trying to think, are there any other things that I've like started just doing now? Immediately folding laundry, putting it away, and then immediately washing dishes or loading the dishwasher so they're not sitting in the sink. And like those are little minor things, but I rather make those adjustments ahead of time so that it's natural and easy and effortless when we actually do live together. Just little things like that. I'm trying to think, I feel like there's some other things we've already talked about. I know that he is more of a saver than I am when it comes to money. So that's like, as soon as, first of all, I don't have a job there yet. Oh, I'm moving to California, by the way. So as soon as I know what my job is, then I'll have an idea of what my salary is. But we're gonna, definitely have a budget and figure all that out like ahead of time, so that when we get there, when we are together, like we're not trying to figure it out like on the fly. Like it's already figured out, to save stress and time. But yeah, he's definitely more of a saver than I am. And like saver for emergencies. I'm good at saving for like the future, like future planning, retirement planning, 401ks, 503bs, 501ks. Did I say 401ks? Yeah, I did. 503bs, not a 501c. Roth IRAs, all that kind of stuff. I find that stuff super interesting, and my dad is really into that stuff, and he's kind of taught me a little bit about that. So that's something that's always kind of been on my mind. And even like life insurance, like I have life insurance, and uh just like little things like that. I'm more I have a little bit more knowledge in, whereas he is better at like the practical budgeting for like now, which I suck at. I'm not even gonna lie, I'm terrible at that. Like, but yeah, so those are all things that we've like talked about and we'll continue to talk about and discuss as we get closer to actually living together. We've already talked about too, things that we're doing now is like thinking about what a day in our life would actually look like. We know I'm a teacher, he's a student, he is in medical school. So I probably will be up super early. So even just like having those kind of conversations, like, is the plan for me to wake up at the time I need to get up and do what I need to do and leave and basically not do anything for him in the morning? And then am I taking the dog out because I have a dog? Thankfully, they like each other, praise God. Um, or does he expect me to like make him breakfast and wrap it up and leave it in the fridge or leave it in the microwave or whatever for him? So when he wakes up, all he has to do is heat it up and eat it, you know? Does he expect me to take the dog out when I get up so he doesn't have to do it when he gets up, or what? You know, like we're kind of having those conversations already. Because it's just less stressful if you go in kind of with a plan, but never assume. That's the big thing. Never assume that, oh, this is just how it's going to go. I'm going to do the cooking, the cleaning, and they're going to go to work and take out the trash and do the yard work or whatever. Like, never assume. Really discuss and plan those things together, because then you both have ownership in it. The expectations are clear, and then you can, you know, hold one another accountable, and you're building your life together. That's the main thing, building your life together. Which brings me to my next point. I done lost track of my points or whatever. But make sure that you have, in addition to like, as a woman, having other women that are pouring into you that you talk to, have other couples that you can talk to about things and that you can go to be mentored by and poured into by. So have like a discipleship couple. That's what we call it in our congregation, in our churches. Call it like having a discipleship couple that kind of just mentors you, and you can go to about questions about marriage and your relationship. Like, if you ever have any questions or just like seek guidance and advice from, because we've never been married before. So we need people that know, you know, what they're doing, how it works, that have successful marriages that can pour into us. And so with that being said, we finally found a couple. Woo woo, we finally found a couple that's willing to take us on and, you know, guide us and help us. You know, just make sure that we're on the right track and glorifying God and honoring God in our relationship, in our marriage, in all aspects of it. Our responsibilities to each other, our responsibilities to God, our responsibility to our community and the church, all of that. I'm using a mixture of powders. This is the One Size powder in the light shade, mixed with a little bit of the One Size powder in the deep shade, mixed with a little bit of Huda. Huda Beauty Easy Bake. Huda Beauty Easy Bake Powder in the shade Kanafa. All mixed together. And I'm just using this little brush to apply it under the eyes. So, that being said, when it comes to joining your life with somebody else, yes, you need to do your own individual work and reflection. And get your own individual like guidance and mentorship. But you also want to do it as a couple. And another activity that you can do, which a lot of people will suggest if you have a mentoring couple or just Woodrow later, my daddy, is reading books together. That's something that's super awesome that will help you learn more about your partner and help you guys grow closer together. It was reading books together. And so we started doing premarital counseling. We started doing it pre-engagement. So there's this couple that has amazing resources, and their business is called Dear Young Married Couple, and it's Adam and Carissa. King are their names. And they're licensed, I don't know the letters after their name, but they're licensed, certified, you know, all that. And their group is called Dear Young Married Couple. Their business, Dear Young Married Couple. They have podcasts, and they also have a premarital counseling like program that you can get on their website that you can pay for to do. So we got that. We decided to purchase that while we were dating and kind of start going through it. And they have so many tools and resources for like building your communication, family planning, future planning, budgeting, setting goals, having a mission statement for you and your partner. Like so many different resources and different things that you might not have ever even thought about. And I can't even name them all because it's really, really good. And then they also have this resource as well. They have these like card decks that you and your partner can do to learn different things about each other. And they're like conversation starters to help you deepen your relationship with one another. And so there's 3 different decks. And the one that we have, I think we've already made it through this whole deck, but like you can go through it periodically. This is the Foundations deck from Dear Young Married Couple. And here's what it looks like, the packaging. You can find these on Amazon and on their website, which is I think dearyoungmarriedcouple.com. Just look them up. They're good stuff. But yeah, so it says it's a resource to equip you with tools in each area of marriage and serve as a foundation to serve as the foundation to the other Dear Young Married Couples decks. So this is the Foundations one. This is really like getting to know you kind of questions. Then they have the Realizations deck. And this one is when you're ready to go a little bit deeper. And these are questions where it causes you to reflect on what the other person might think about you. So it's I really like this one. We just started kind of going through these ones and they've been really, really fun and really funny. But we're like a very silly kind of goofy couple. But yeah, really like this one as well. I suggest getting all 3 because I think it's a bundle deal. And then the one that, as you can see, is not opened yet. It is still wrapped up. This is the Sexpectations, which I think they say don't open this one till 2 weeks before you get married or after you get married. But it's about building a more intimate connection with your spouse, which we know intimacy is not just sex, but, you know, there's emotional intimacy, a spiritual intimacy. But yeah, that's what this one is about. And we haven't opened this one yet, clearly. As you see, it's still wrapped in the plastic. But I've got all 3. I just went ahead and got the pack. But yeah, it's dearyoungmarriedcouple.com. They actually have the website on that middle deck right there, the green one. Which green's my favorite color. So that's something that we've been doing to like just strengthen our relationship with each other and just continue getting to know each other. I really don't want my under eyes to crease, and I have to really get in there with powder to have fine lines under my eye and really work it in so that they won't crease. And I find this eye creases more than this under eye, but I don't know what that's about because I feel like this one has more lines than this one. I don't know, girl. I don't know. But yeah, so my under eyes, my T-zone, all the areas I wanted to highlight are set now. So now we can move on to face powder, setting the face. And what powder do I want to use? Let's use Sephora. We're going to use the Sephora Micro Smooth in the shade Mocha 70 and this random beat up brush from, I think, BH Cosmetics. This is really old, but I love it. So yeah, in addition to doing the decks and doing the Dear Young Married Couple program that they have for premarital counseling, we also have invested in some books, and there are 2 main books. Well, actually there's more than 2, but for right now, I'm only going to mention 2. One is a workbook, and this is the workbook that here, and I believe I go to the Charlotte church, which is North Carolina, but I live on the border in South Carolina. But I think the churches in North Carolina, they do this workbook called, like all of them collectively, when they do premarital counseling. This book called Living as One, which you can also find on Amazon. And it just walks you through, it's for engaged couples, and it just walks you through What are my expectations of marriage? Talking about your parents, the heart of the matter, communication, making decisions, resolving conflict, how you spend money, a man and woman, the two become one, and a good start. So those are kind of like the chapters, the different chapters. And yeah, so this is another great resource and a great book, and it's a workbook. So you answer questions, you write in it, you reflect, you think about things, you evaluate, you talk, you negotiate, you discover. Yeah, that's a really good book. And then another book from Amazon that I really, really like, that has a lot of good questions to talk about and think about when you're joining your life with somebody else for the rest of your life. It's called The Hard Questions Before You Say I Do. And it's by Susan Rivers. And it's a small, thin book, but it goes through lots of different things. It even talks about what do we do if one of our, parents or in-laws gets sick? Are we taking them in? Are we putting them in a home? Like stuff like that. I know it's intense. It's like, whoa, we just know that we love each other. But, what do you mean if our parents get sick? What are we going to do? Yeah, but that's important stuff because you might not, share the same views. Some people are very anti nursing homes or senior living communities, and some people are like, heck no, my mom ain't ever living in my house under my roof. Some people think that and have those feelings and convictions. So you need to talk about that stuff before you get married and something, God forbid, were to happen. And your other person is like, no, you better Shawty better go to the home. And you're like, no, we don't do that. We all keep our people with us. You don't want to be in that situation. I've seen it happen in other people's lives, and you just don't want to be caught with the unexpected, and you don't want to make any assumptions. So that's why I just like all these questions, even though they might not even ever happen or be relevant for you and your partner, are good just to ponder and reflect on and discuss, to be prepared. Like I said, proactive versus reactive. All right, I think I'm done pressing this powder into the skin. I do a lot of pressing because it makes my foundation last longer, and I feel like it gives me a more flawless, smooth finish. So I basically put this all over where I didn't highlight, and I'm kind of overlapping just a little bit so that things blend together really well. So now my base is basically done. It looks very flat and one-dimensional, so let's add some shape and some color into this face. I'm moving so slow because I'm talking, but that's fine. But those are the two books I really wanted to mention. The Learning to Live is one workbook, and then The Hard Questions Before You Say I Do. And it's a really good little book by Susan River. And I don't have it because I actually took it to California when I went to go visit my fiance last in November. So he has it, I believe, at his place. All right, let's do bronzer, bronzer, highlight, blush. Am I feeling blush? Do I want to blush today? Let's wear blush. Yes. Okay. For blush, I know I want to wear Hourglass at Night. That's one of my faves, which looks like this. I love this blush. This blush is so pretty, and it kind of matches my headband. That's what made me really want to wear this one. So we're gonna do that for blush. For for bronzer, I'm gonna use the Revolution Glow matte bronzer in the shade Deep. This is really deep. That's why I say kind of a bronzer, because this is really, really deep. But this is supposed to be a bronzer. I actually could probably do the shade Medium, but it was sold out for a while. But this thing is amazing and it will last you forever. So we're gonna use that. I might have to mix it with a little bit of something else to so it won't be so dark, but we'll see. If I do have to mix it, actually, we'll just use Cooler Toasted to mix with that. So that's the bronzer situation, these two. And then for highlight, what kind of highlight am I feeling? Am I feeling gold? Am I feeling more champagne? Am I feeling pink highlight? Am I feeling green? I do different colors, blue. Okay, I don't know. I think I want to do a bold lip that matches the headband. Am I gonna do big jewelry? minimal jewelry. I think more minimal. So let's do a gold highlight, like a gold. Why not? Let's do trophy wife. I'm not gonna do it too intense, but since I am gonna be one, let's wear trophy wife. I'm so extra. But yeah, those are the two books I really want to mention. There's several other books to mention that are good to read before you get married, but that'll have to be a separate video. I'm trying to think, is there anything else I really wanted to share? I think that's pretty much the main things I really wanted to share that I've been learning and just reflecting on. Oh, there's one more thing. One more thing. Uno más. Let's do, I'm trying to think what order. Let's do bronzer first. Bronzer first. What nobody really tells you or talks about is like wedding planning is stressful. Like we've seen the show Bridezillas and stuff. So you kind of know that it's stressful, but like when your fiance is one of 10 kids and almost all his siblings are married and almost all his siblings have kids of their own, and his family is really big because he's Mexican, that makes it makes it even a little bit more, the stress level just because he comes from a really big family. And then we're bi-coastal. You know, I live on the East Coast, he lives on the West Coast. Most of my friends are over here on the East Coast. All his friends and family are over there on the West Coast, mostly. Where are we gonna go? How's it gonna work? We want, you know, you want all the people you love to be there. First of all, I didn't want a wedding. I don't really want a wedding personally. I've always wanted to go to the courthouse. But my fiance wants a wedding. So, you know, there we go. So, you know, we had to negotiate, figure some things out. So we're having a small, close family and friends, which is already about like 60 people because the family's so big. Backyard wedding, reception situation. It's going to be beautiful. Shout out to that family member that's letting us use their home. It's going to be beautiful. And I'm really excited because my immediate family is going to go there for that. And I think I have one friend coming down from Northern California to be there. Or then possibly my college best friend. She just had a baby. Well, her baby's like 6 months now. But still, that's just had a baby. That's a fresh baby still. I don't know if she'll be able to come, but her family lives in California. So that's the kind of situation in California. And so that'll be the official wedding day, June 11th, there in California. And then as a compromise for like my family, my friends, my parents want to have a celebration over here on the East Coast. So in Fort Mill, a week later, June 18th, we're going to have a little celebration here in the Carolinas so that my people that live over here can come and attend. And so that was like our little happy medium. And it's not like a wedding. We're just having like a dinner party celebration thing, which is perfect for me. I'm down for a dinner because I don't have to plan anything. You just show up and eat. I can do that, baby. I can show up and eat. That's not a problem. But like, what song are you walking down to? And first dances and floral arrangements and a venue and all that. I'm not made for that. I'm not cut out for that. That is not for me. I don't like all that. And like I work full time. Like, you know, we both have a lot going on. So like we don't really have time to, if we were to have like a full on like wedding, shebang, like who's gonna have time to plan that, you know? I'm using this brush that I'm pretty sure is also from BH Cosmetics. Yes, it is a 134. It is very soft. And it's not too big because I don't want this to get too out of control. I'm using a very light hand. Like I'm barely touching my skin to place this to help give my face some shape. So yeah, so we're having like 2 separate events on each coast to accommodate everyone. And my family will be at both. As in, I only have one sibling. So my mom, my dad, and my sister. So that's really exciting. And I'm wearing 2 different dresses, which I've already ordered. But I haven't gone in person. So I'm the kind of person like, I'm pretty decisive. Like I know what I want. And so like when I saw these dresses, I was like, I want that. That's what I'm going to wear. So it didn't take me long to decide like on dresses. So they're being made, of course. It takes like 4 to 6 weeks for them to be done. So I'm really excited to actually try it on in person. I'm pretty sure I'm going to love it. I'm not really concerned about not liking it in person or whatever. That's not a concern at all for me personally. But it's just super exciting. I have 2 different dresses. This brush is kind of big. I'm gonna go with a little bit of the Hula. I don't want to put the Revolution one on my forehead. I'm gonna take this Real Techniques 400 brush. I'm gonna take a little bit of this bronzer and kind of go bigger on the cheek to blend top. I like the tone of this one because it's more neutral. Yeah, I like this. And then also I'm gonna put some on my forehead by tapping, because I don't want to disturb my edges. That's a trick you could use. Like kind of tap it on, load up the brush, and then tap it on the skin to blend it so you don't mess up your edges. But yeah, I'm excited for the 2 dresses, and they're very different as well. It's gonna be hot, first of all. So the first one is, both are glamorous, but in 2 totally different ways. But both are very classic. That's all I'm gonna tell y'all. You have to wait to see the pictures and all that. But I'm excited for the 2 different dresses. So everything worked out. I'm also just super grateful. Like I was a little worried at first when he told me like he wanted a wedding, because I was like, how are we gonna make that happen? You know, like you're in school, I'm working full time. You know, like who's gonna plan that and all that. But like I literally, and this is another thing I've learned, is like God has a plan, and not everything you feel needs to be said. And then even the way that you say things, you just want to be aware of how it, how it comes off and how it could impact your person. So I wasn't about to be a dream crusher, but I literally just prayed. I was like, God, just make it apparent that we might not be able to have everything that my sweet, dear fiance envisions, but I know that you're going to make it beautiful. And I don't want to be the bearer of that bad news. So please just reveal it to him. And I just stored that prayer away in my heart, and boom, literally the next day he started, looking at things and venues, and he was like, oh no, this costs way too much money, because he's frugal, on the frugal side, which I'm super grateful for, because like I said, I'm more of the spender. He's more of the saver. He was like, oh, absolutely not. When you're not, that vision I had, baby girl, that's gone. And I was like, thank you, God, because I was a little worried, because, I knew that some of that responsibility would probably fall on me to really get all that going, and I don't really want to do all that. So the Lord worked it out. All right, trophy wife highlight. Like, I don't know, I'm just more focused on the marriage. And like we've had this conversation, him and I, but like I'm just focused on creating a healthy, happy marriage. I could honestly sort of care less about the one day, like the marriage day. Yes, I do want it to be beautiful. Yes, I want us to be able to celebrate. Yes, I want, our parents to be there and all of that. Yes, but like, I don't want to stress over that. That's not my priority, is like focusing on one day, this one day. My priority is our marriage, the health of our marriage and our union, and preparing for that, preparing for life together, not trying to get this one day perfect and beautiful and decorated and people fed and all of that. Like that stuff is, that's like extra. That's like the icing on the cake. So yeah, it's been good. It's been good to like work through that, navigate that, and come up with the plan that we have now and all of that. Thanks. Thank you so much. So yeah, I'm excited. He's excited. It's 144 days away, which is kind of funny because that's how much I weigh. 144 pounds now. I'm 144 pounds now. Oh, yay. Congratulations. If you didn't watch from the beginning, I dropped some knowledge on how things I'm learning and things I suggest to just make that transition into wifedom smooth and successful and beautiful and easy, and just things that I'm doing now to prepare and all of that. That's what this video is about. So, but I already kind of talked about most of it. So, but yes, congratulations to you as well. It's so exciting. It's fun. Oh, that's another point. Yeah. Have fun just being engaged. Because a lot of people, as soon as you get engaged, they're like, so when's the wedding? Bro, like he just got on one knee. Like he just got up. Like, what do you mean, when is the wedding? I didn't even get to say like, thanks for the ring yet. Like, or, what do you mean? Like people are going to like come at you. Like, and that's how people are, as soon as you do one thing, It's like, well, when are you going to have a kid? Well, as soon as you have the one kid, when are you going to have another one? As soon as you have another one, are you going to have another one? You know, so just, you know, enjoy each stage. Don't feel pressured into having to figure everything out in the first 2-3 weeks of being engaged. We got engaged on, oh, nice. We're getting married in June too, June 11th to be exact. June 11th is when our wedding will be and the reception in California because he's from California. And then we're having a second dinner party celebration June 18th here on the East Coast. But yeah, enjoy the stage. If you don't have an answer, I just straight up told people, they're like, so when is the wedding? I said, I don't know. We just got engaged. And even my own family, which this is another thing that I'm like been practicing, is like being more gentle. We'll say gentle. A lot of people have a negative connotation with the word submissive, but to me, the word submissive is not negative. It just means like, basically to me, when I think about submission, it means that I respect you, I honor you, I trust you as a person. Like, and so I look up to you and I admire you and I trust you to make decisions. I honor you, I respect you. That is to me what submission is. I feel that way about my parents. So I've been practicing that just in general with certain people. And so my parents wanted me to have basically everything figured out, which is why right now I have dates. I know exactly where things are going to be. I already have my dress ordered. I already have my wedding shoes in my closet right now. Like, and we haven't even been engaged a month, but everything's all planned basically. I know the wedding colors. I have a little committee in California that's doing stuff. So the good thing about that though is that since we're long distance, like we don't get to see each other all the time, is that when he comes back, yo, this trophy wife is so pretty. Look at that. It's so beautiful. When he comes back to visit me in March, then we can just focus on enjoying being engaged, you know, like doing our engagement shoot, which I already have the person for that as well. When I tell you, I planned everything, got everything done in like 3 weeks of being engaged. It was stressful though. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it was stressful. I also got sick during that time, like I said. But like now, going forward, I don't have to worry about it anymore. It's like such a weight lifted off my shoulders. Amen, girl, you are on top of it. That's the way to go. I'm telling you. Because now, going forward, you can just be at peace and just enjoy just loving each other and being with each other, still getting to know each other and grow with each other. And all your conversations are not focused around, have you and your husband, you have to money? Yes. Yeah, I talked about that earlier in the video, but yes. Yeah. Yes, we had one with my parents. We've had some with each other. I still need to get a job over there. That's going to heavily impact the budget that we have. This blush is so pretty. Sorry, I'm going all over the place. This is another BH Cosmetics brush from one of their collections with somebody, I can't remember their name. Number 2, but this is so pretty. And this is Hourglass at Night blush. That color is just beautiful. Beautiful. But wait, what was I talking about? Y'all, I'm getting old. Shoot, I'm turning 30 this year. I done lost my whole train of thought. I don't know. Because we plan stuff early, I'm just going to go back to this point. When he comes in March, we can just enjoy being with one another. And all of our conversations won't be focused around wedding planning because that can very easily happen. And I'm so grateful that I have the most just gentle. He's such a strong person and so resilient, and he's such a strong man and confident in himself, but there's just like this gentleness about him that I really need to balance me out because I'm not a gentle person. That's something I have to actively work on. But he was just like, one day, he was just like, I feel like all we do is talk about wedding planning. And I was like, oh. He's like, I want to get back to just hanging out and getting to know one another. And I was like, oh, you're right. I have been just as soon as we get on the phone. So what do you think about this? And and so, you know, that's one thing that I made a change. And we have like a running Google Doc that we both type in, and we try to just kind of minimize and limit our wedding talk because you don't want your whole relationship, you know, your engagement to just be about wedding planning. You know, you still want to just hang out, like you said, enjoy one another, get to know one another, talk about your days, what you're doing over the weekend, and all of that. He's like, I really just want to get back to getting to know you, you know? Yeah, it was really sweet. So I made a conscious effort to make sure I don't inundate him. Inundate. I'm a teacher. I should know words, but I teach music. That's always my go-to when I don't know words and things. Um, with him wedding stuff, still focusing on our building our friendship and our relationship because he is my best friend. So, all right, I need to get this look going. I'm so behind because I'm talking so much. But yeah, we are not having a cake. We're not having a cake. He's lactose intolerant. It saves money. So yeah, as of right now, there's no wedding cake. My mom asked me about that, and I was like, girl, we don't want no cake. Girl, especially not here for like the East Coast. I don't want a cake. I don't even like cake like that. Somebody said, are you having cookies or that? I was like, as of right now, as dessert, we don't know what the dessert is. I can tell you what we're eating, but yeah, as of right now, I don't think there's a dessert for either location that has been selected. And I'm fine with waiting on that minor detail. And if you're wondering, is she using mascara on her eyebrows? Indeed, I am. This is the Essence Lash Princess Waterproof in black. Because my brows disappear when I put on foundation. I like to just kind of use this as almost like a brow gel. Very lightly, gotta be careful. And then I go in and fill the brows in. But this helps me to see the shape and see them better. But yeah. So we have photographer for here. She's locked in. We still have to pay like the deposit or whatever, but like we know who it's gonna be, and she's agreed to the date. And then I still need to get in contact with the girl we might go with over there. I have to talk to him about that, about her price and her rate. But I do want professional pictures, especially for like the actual day. But I also want professional pictures for here because, that's where most of my people are going to be that I'm close to. But of course, I want professional pictures with his family too. So that is like an additional cost if you're going to do a bi-coastal dual reception sort of situation. And I think that might be our greatest cost right now is photography because we're doing this pretty efficiently, I will say. Well, and then food for Charlotte, not so much California. We'll just say Charlotte, North Carolina. It's not in Charlotte, it's in Fort Mill, but yeah. Yeah. But I think that's all I really want to share as of right now. Yeah. When it comes to being stressed, that's another point. I didn't talk about this. My brain, when I tell you, I've kind of had an outline in my head, but I didn't write it down because, I'm very just like chill, candid. Even though you are going to get stressed, and this is something that I've been constantly reminding myself of, remember that this is something that you prayed for and choose to be grateful that you're even having these stressors, So that's one thing I've thought about. Like, yeah, it is stressful to basically have everything planned within the first 2 weeks of being engaged. Thank you so much again. I appreciate the support. Like, it's been overwhelming. Yes, it is somewhat stressful, but I'm grateful for this stressor because this is something I prayed for. This is something I wanted. Did I understand all that would come with it? No, you never do until you really get into it. But I've chosen an attitude of gratitude no matter how stressful things have gotten or are getting. And, I'm thankful I have a partner who's choosing, that has the same attitude, shares the same faith, and has the same vision for what he wants for his marriage, which is going to be our marriage. So, yeah, it's been fun. Honestly, it's really fun. And it's just really exciting. And I'm just looking forward to him being back because being long distance now that we are going to get married, it makes it harder to be away from him because it's like I know his commitment is a forever commitment. Whereas before it's like, I knew he was serious about me, but it was like now, like this man has said, you are going to be Mrs. Martinez. I'm keeping my last name, so I'll be Mrs. Martinez Ishman in case you're wondering. We're going to hyphenate. But for, his culture, the man's last name comes first. So that's why mine is coming second, because I've gotten that question a lot. So his will come first, mine will come second. And I'm totally fine with that. But you know, my dad only has 2 daughters, so I'm like, I gotta keep my name because there's no boys. But yeah, let me know what questions you guys have. I think that's all I really wanted to share in this video. I have loved watching Casey Nicole. That's one person I really love watching. I've been loving Beautiful Brown Baby Dolls videos. Um, uh, those are the two main people whose content I've been watching about, like uh, marriage, being a wife, all that kind of stuff. So, and I like this diversity because Casey Nicole is a white woman that lives in California. And then Beautiful Brown Baby Doll. I don't know where Beautiful Brown Baby Doll lives. Does she live in Texas? Does she live in Georgia? Does she live in DC? Does she live in, not New York? I don't think she lives in the North. But Beautiful Brown Baby Doll, she just got married. And she's licensed and certified and all that too. I like watching people that have credentials in like psychology, um, therapy, counseling, that kind of stuff. Because plus their personal experiences, because it just, I feel like it adds a new layer of depth and credibility to the advice that they give. And of course, people that are faith-based, because, you know, you're going to get a different set of, a slightly different set of like advice and things from people who don't have God at the center or the heart of their relationship. So those are things I look for in the content that I watch about just wedding and all that, all weddings and marriage and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think that's all I really wanted to share for now. You guys can just, I guess we can hang out. And you can watch me finish my makeup. Which right now I'm using the Milani Weekend Brow. I love this. In the shade Espresso, it's like a felt tip brow pencil. This is one of my favorites. It's my second favorite. My top favorite is actually the NYX one. NYX. And in case you're wondering, yes, I'm doing my own hair and makeup for my wedding. I've had my makeup done so many times. I personally feel no one has done my makeup as well as I do my own makeup. Therefore, I will be doing my own makeup for my wedding. And for hair, I have no idea how I'm going to wear my hair for the wedding. I have no idea because it's going to be hot. It's going to be somewhat humid. We're going to be outside, weather permitting. Honeymoon, that's a great question. So ain't no honeymoon, really. Because, first of all, I'm a teacher. We know that. I have a teacher's salary in South Carolina. I'm leaving South Carolina to go be a teacher in California. My fiance is in medical school. He is a full-time medical school student who will become a doctor in 3 years, and then 2 years of residency. He doesn't work. We're having 2 celebrations on 2 different coasts with about approximately max 70 people each in both locations. I must fly there. He has to fly here. I have a dog that we must drive across the country with. Dollar signs. I just see, do you see? You see the dollar signs flying through the air? There is no honeymoon right now. So this is what we're saying our honeymoon is the honeymoon is we're going to plan some stops across on our journey driving from South Carolina to California. So yeah, definitely want to go see the Grand Canyon. That'll probably be a stop, but that's going to be like our honeymoon, is like our road trip across. I want to stop in New Orleans personally. But that's the kind of the plan. So we got to map it out. And so we'll have like a road trip across America, little mini vacation places along the way, which I think will be really cool because he has never been to the East Coast until he just came for the holidays. And I've never been to the Southwest. So like I have been to Arizona, Colorado, Nevada, that area at all. I've never been there. I've been to 38 states, but not down there. And so I think it would be really cool if we like, plan some little stops in places that we both are going to be going to for the first time. And we both love hiking and national parks. So probably hit up some national parks along the way. I just switched to the NYX one, which I feel like is darker and inkier. So I really like using this one for the tail of my brow. So yeah, I think that's going to be our honeymoon. It's not a traditional one, but I'm sure we'll take one, honestly, will be more of a vacation. But like once he finishes medical school, baby, that's when we'll plan a real trip. When I say a real trip, I mean out of the country, like more of a traditional style of a honeymoon, where you can go out of the country once he graduates and his doctor